I'm Tata Babs.
And I'm Amy Melons.
This is the Booby Trap Podcast. Wine, films, murder.
Trap. Big, beautiful booby trap.
With this podcast, we delve into the world of classic crime and murder films, paired with a perfect wine. Today, we're delving into the suspenseful film, Suddenly, and pairing it with the crisp acidity and citrus notes that complement the tense atmosphere and sharp dialogue of the film. So today, we're going to start off by doing a wine tasting. The wine today, the varietal that we're having is a Seyval Blanc. And what's kind of interesting is this grape grows in cooler climates. So it's actually primarily grown in England and Wales, which I guess is popular for sparkling wines. And then in the U.S., it's really grown over on the East Coast. So, the New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia.
Virginia.
And then surprisingly, then also the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So, and then Canada. So sometimes it's used for ice wines. Very interesting wine, something maybe most people don't get to experience.
Okay.
The level of sweetness, it's pretty versatile. So, it can be made into dry wines. It can be made into semi-sweet styles, even dessert wines. So, like I said, ice wine in Canada. So, very interesting.
Canada.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. It's just kind of based off of, the type of style that people are interested in experimenting with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of grape is known for high acidity, so it makes it really, ideal for sparkling wines and, something that's nice and refreshing. So typically for this style of wine, you're going to have aromas of citrus, green apple, pear, and minerality. For the tasting flavors, lemon, grapefruit, honeydew melon, maybe even some herb or floral notes. So once again, obviously each wine is different and
Right.
You might experience some of those differently, but for this style of wine, these tend to be the sort of notes that you would experiment.
It's the COVID blend.
And then also just kind of last but not least, in terms of food pairing, so typically for Seyval Blanc, when we talk about main dishes, it's really good with light seafood, so clams, oysters, whitefish, also chicken and summer salads, maybe some mildly spicy dishes is maybe Thai food or Thai shrimp or something, not extra spicy, mild spicy.
Okay.
And then for cheese pairings, nice creamy cheeses, was it Havarti? Is that Havarti? I don't know how to say that cheese name.
I think you said it just right. Because I can't say it any better.
Yeah, so that sort of cheese.
Right?
I apologize for those cheese experts out there.
Don't
write
in.
And then for desserts, usually fruit-based desserts, so a lemon tart or apple crumble. So I guess, the idea of that citrus notes and the apple notes kind of pairing really well together, so complementing each other. So with that, let's talk about the wine we're having today.
Okay, today we are opening a bottle of 2020 Seyval Blanc, which comes from Bogati, Bodega, and Vineyard, which is located in Northern Virginia, I believe in Berryville.
Yeah.
This is one of 3 family-owned wineries in that area, and each winery does just a bit of a different style of winemaking. So, the wine we're having today, which is at Bogati, they do the Argentinian. Is that a word?
Yeah. Well, that's how I say it. Argentinian.
Okay, nobody from Argentina write in, please. No writing in, period. Style wines. Verramar Vineyard, which is also a really nice place to visit, they do Italian. And James Charles Winery, they are dedicated to French style.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, a family, obviously 3 different vineyards, they're all part of the same family, but each one is a different style.
Exactly, yeah.
And I know, for the Bogati ones, you like the Malbecs, and once again, it's just,
I'm very Argentinian.
Right, so it's just kind of one of those things that's who knew, and it's fun to experiment with that.
Right,
so,
exactly, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and do some tasting right now with our bottle of Seyval Blanc from Bogati. So as we're doing tasting, we're going to first look at the wine, then we'll smell it, and then we'll taste it. The first step is looking at the color. What color do we think this wine is?
It has kind of like a yellow green.
Yeah, like
right?
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of more straw, but like light, right?
Right.
Looks nice.
Not a dark yellow.
Right.
Just kind of a. But I mean, a little bit of green in there, right?
Yeah, it looks
Green?
nice.
Yeah, like yellow green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next is smell. So I know you're gonna hand that over to me
That's what I'm gonna do.
as I smell.
You're in charge of being smelly.
So yeah, I definitely smell some of those like more citrusy notes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like even like green apple for me, like very kind of like that crisp smell. Like I think that idea. I think earlier on I was saying like kind of summery type of salads. It's like, oh yeah, I can see where this would be very nice with that. But yeah, I think just overall it's a nice, light, refreshing smells to it. And then the next part is then taste.
All right, I can handle that.
We'll help you too. Don't worry.
Thank you. Definitely can take the citrus. Right?
Yeah.
Very, very, very citrusy, and it has a very crisp finish.
You like it?
Yes. It's one of the more tart white ones. So I don't know, we just say this is a white one.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
I guess we didn't say it was a white. Sorry.
See, I would. The Blanc should have tipped me off, but yeah.
Blanc usually means white.
Yeah, that usually means white. Okay. Yeah. Well, for the uneducated, such as myself.
Yeah, I think once again those notes of the citrus. I almost feel like a stone fruit maybe too. Honestly, like I almost feel like a nectarine or something. But I think it's like once again that like almost like summery vibes. Taking this out on the porch on a hot day just would be really refreshing.
Right.
Anyway, well, we're going to go ahead and enjoy our bottle of wine while we begin to watch the film. So once again, we're going to watch Suddenly from 1954. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so a little background on our film today. It is Suddenly, made in 1954, directed by Lewis Allen, and just a few of the characters. Frank Sinatra stars as John Barron, a ruthless hired assassin who takes a family hostage in a small, quiet California town called Suddenly, with the intention of assassinating the President of the United States when his train stops at the town. Now, the family's home provides a perfect vantage point for Barron and is his henchman to assassinate the president. Sterling Hayden plays the Sheriff Tod Shaw, who tries to thwart the assassination plot with the help of the Secret Service. The film is known for its intense suspense and dramatic twists, and it is, in the genre, is film noir. Just kind of break down the characters. As I said, Lewis Allen was the director, and Allen directed several films in the late 1940s and the 1950s, including The Uninvited and one of my favorites, The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So now Frank Sinatra, well known as an iconic singer, one of the crooners actually back in the 20s, 30s. Old blue eyes or brown eyes, depending on which scene you're watching today.
Yeah. Well, and that was, this film originally was black and white, and then later on, they actually did it in color.
Yeah.
Supposedly they did it with brown eyes, but he was blue-eyed, right?
Right.
So I don't know. We'll
see. We'll have to find that one out. So as you know, Sinatra besides a singing career, he was actually had a successful acting career, and he actually won an Oscar for. Do you know which film?
From Here to Eternity.
Yes, ma'am. From Here to Eternity.
If I can speak.
Yeah, and of course, he was infamous for being part of
the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack. Yes.
And I think for the Oscar that he received, I think that was just the previous film, like the film prior to this one. So I think he had just gotten that nice Oscars, from my understanding.
Yeah? Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's at least my understanding. So then this is like his next film from that, and I don't know. Having seen From Here to Eternity, do you remember what he played, or
he was one of the I'm not. It gets into that almost that war genre that I don't really like. He was something or somebody. But I'll be honest. Today, I'm not. I'm gonna have to admit. I know the rolling around on the beach scene with
Right. Right.
Was that Montgomery Clift and Lana Turner? No, Deborah Carr.
Deborah Carr. Uh-huh.
So rolling around on the beach, I know what Frank Sinatra played. I do not know. So
the reason why I was asking is I was just kind of curious if it went from like he was, a nice guy to wow, this is now a totally opposite scene.
I think he was a nice guy. Because
Yeah.
I think they mentioned part of the reason they liked this film so much with him in this film so much is it was his first turn as playing a villain.
Mm.
So I'm going to assume that he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Because Frank Sinatra wanted to be a nice guy. Frank Sinatra is the guy everybody wants to like. So in the audience out there, if you know what it was, either it was a nice guy or a bad guy, please feel free to break the tie between Tata and I and tell us what he was, so I don't have to watch a war movie. You'll be helping us out. Thank you very much. So on we go. So Sterling Hayden stars as Tod Shaw, the sheriff, which he was actually backdoor a World War II hero. He was a Marine, and so him playing, in a authority type position. Not a huge stretch for him.
Well, and what's interesting too is so this story actually was based on a short story by Richard Sale. So it was called Active Duty.
Right.
So originally it was published in the Blue Book of May of 1943. And that's what was adapted into the film. So that storyline was about World War II. So, obviously you have people who were fighting as part, within that war, acting as part of this film. And so what's interesting for this story of Active Duty, so that short story actually was inspired it inspired the author after having read in the newspaper an article about President Dwight D. Eisenhower traveling via train to Palm Springs, California. So that's kind of what sparked that storyline.
Right. Our particular fondness for this movie is because what's going to happen?
It's the quote. It's a big, beautiful booby trap. That's the quote that you'll hear from Frank Sinatra in his role. And, that's the clip that you'll hear for all of our podcasts. That's the one that we feature.
Right.
And, it's just one of those things. And that's it kind of indicates there are some booby traps in this film. So it's just exciting for us. We like to
And feel free to take a tasting when you hear booby trap. Join in. We do a tasting, right?
Whether it's from us or from others in the movie.
So are we ready to get rolling?
Yeah, no, let's definitely do that. I think the one other thing that we just want to mention too, there is a remake actually out there.
There is. Don't ask me about everybody because I think everybody else was a nobody, but the late great Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Reprising Frank Sinatra's role. It has to be a good movie if somebody bothered to remake it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's always the case,
but yeah.
I think it was more true, like, sometimes they'll take a movie and they'll kind of like, oh yeah, it's very loosely based on, and you're just like, please, no. Whereas I think this one seems, at least when you look at the character names, they seem to be like in alignment with what, what's from the original.
Right, exactly. All right.
Well, as you're getting that kind of
fired up and ready to go,
one thing I did want to mention, which was kind of interesting actually. So we were kind of talking about, was Frank a good guy or a bad guy before this film?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things is, because it was one of his kind of earlier dramatic roles, and it was, I think, once again you mentioned like it was like his first time he was this villainous character.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly he was so intense in this performance as this like cold-hearted assassin.
Uh-huh.
It actually kind of not only showed his versatility, but also I think it also it made it so he was like so convincing as part of this role that when JFK was assassinated in 1963, they were actually pulling this film temporarily from circulation. And part of it was because not only the plot of involving an assassination attempt of the president, but also supposedly Lee Harvey Oswald watched the film a few days before the assassination of JFK. And what's kind of interesting is Frank Sinatra was very much a friend of JFK.
Right.
So it's also kind of a weird, it's kind of an interesting where it has, he's this ruthless assassin, and yet he was also very much personally friends with an actual U.S. president.
Yeah, and I wonder if he struggled with that at all.
Yeah, that is interesting.
With that.
I mean, obviously, it's like what, about 10 years between, or maybe more, but still, I mean, it's something that the fact that people were pulling that off distribution. So obviously, it was in the news. People were talking about it. So obviously, he would be aware of that.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. So I think I've got my technical difficulties worked out to be able to get this picture going. I think I've got the reels all figured out.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Yes, very much.
And so we're watching the colorized version tonight.
Yeah, everybody's pink.
Pink car, yes, a little bit of pink everywhere.
What town is this?
Suddenly.
Suddenly what?
No, that's the name.
It's a funny name for a town.
Uh-huh. Hangover from the old days. That's the way things used to happen here. Suddenly.
Keep that hangover in mind. Hangover from the old days.
The town council is figuring to change the name.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
You'll hear that again, I think.
Okay. I was looking
Not
at the
what we're going to
sign.
have in the morning after we get
Gold
this.
first discovered here in 1842. So I guess it was a gold rush town at one point.
And it's not going to be because that's what we're going to be in the morning after we finish this wine.
James Gleason. Does that name sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay.
He was kind of a prolific guy. I think it's because every time I see James Gleason, I think Jackie Gleason.
That's why.
I think I even look to see, are they related? They're not.
Oh, okay. I think that's what it was. I was thinking Jack.
However, his son either jumped or fell, depending on who you talk to, out of a 4-story window right before he was set to join the military.
Oh.
And died.
Oh, that's sad.
Very sad. But I think he's that one of those actors that you're like, he's that guy in that thing.
Oh, yeah, I recognize this all the time.
Yeah, that guy in that thing.
We've been shopping. I gotta put this stuff in the car. Want to come?
He's trying to be your new daddy.
I bet I can guess what's on your mind.
Bet you can.
Well, now let's see. You want an ice cream soda?
Not a bad idea. But that's not it.
You want to go to the movies?
No, it's a war picture. Mom won't let me see war pictures.
Boy,
Foreshadowing again.
Yeah.
I got it. You want that baseball bat?
No, but you're awful warm.
What does he want?
Is that it?
Oh.
Sure, that's it.
The gun.
Ain't it a beauty? But shucks. It's no use. Mom won't let me have it. She doesn't like guns.
I know.
Yeah.
It's because of my
Is that
father.
is that a cap gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fidge, if you had the gun, what would you do with it? Stick up a filling station?
Stick up a filling station? Heck no. I'm the sheriff. And I catch all those road agents and cattle rustlers. Just like you. But what about Mom?
It's just like,
Do you know what?
there's something.
You see Hubbard's dry goods. What are dry goods? Do you know what I've never known what dry goods or sundries. I think I know what sundries might be. But you don't ever see, there's just no good dry goods stores around.
Not anymore.
No.
I mean, the only thing, would it be more like, say you have cattle, so it's like feed and stuff like that. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's not a grocery store like she's in right now.
Got it.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay. Oh, there's.
Can I get you a lift up the house?
Hang on. The sheriff needs to hit on the mom.
Going to church tomorrow?
Yes.
I'll pick you up about 11:15, huh?
You never give up, do you?
Ellen, I know how you feel. Believe me, I do, and I've tried to understand, but
I haven't asked you to understand.
that's because I'm in love with you.
Todd, you shouldn't say that to me.
Why not? It's true.
Don't, Todd.
Ellen, Ellen, you can't go on being a widow forever. It's been over 3 years since Pete died.
Don't you understand? No one can take Pete's place.
I'm not
Now,
trying
see,
to take
she
Pete's
told
place.
him
I'm
you
trying
don't need to
make a place of my own.
understand. Then she's like, don't you understand? This woman needs to make up her mind.
I can't help how I feel.
She's a mixed bag of emotions.
Ellen, you've got to stop doing this to
Well,
yourself
this is
because
one
you're
of
doing
those
it to
things
kids
though too.
too,
It's
as
like,
well as to
you
me.
know, he's
You're
like,
digging a big
you know, it's
black
been
pit
3 years.
someone
Like,
was down into.
move on already. It's like, you know, people move on
They're
or
ready.
don't move on when they're ready. If she needs 15 years, then give her 15 years.
I voted for him, Ellen.
I wouldn't wait around that long, but it is, you know.
Mine, Mom, because I'm going to be just like Todd.
Take it off, Pidge.
Ellen,
I can't help it, Todd. You know I can't stand seeing him play with a gun.
but the boys got to learn sometime that guns aren't necessarily bad. Depends on who uses them.
Todd carries one, doesn't he?
Yeah, so
There's a whole section of this movie, as we're moving into this, that's a lot about guns.
Yeah.
The evil
That's
or the good of
$3,
guns,
Right.
depending on who's holding them.
Thank you.
Well, it's like,
Who's at the other end of the gun?
right. Well, it's kind of like, you know, it's that idea of, you know, guns don't kill people, people kill
Right,
people.
right.
So a gun is just a utensil. How you use that utensil, because, and you know, think about it. A knife. A knife is used for eating, but people use a knife
Yeah.
to kill people too. So, you know, gun is also, you know, the purpose is really for food and that sort of thing.
Right.
People choose to use it for other activities that are more nefarious. I mean, that's like from a lot of things out there, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, you have things that are created for really the good of mankind or for the good of, you know, something else. But at the end of the day, someone then takes that and turns it into something.
Mass destruction.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
A mass destruction. Yeah. Human beings are all. It's like something good. It's.
There's always going to be
Immediately
someone
try
who
to
takes
figure out a
that
way
and makes it a
and make it
terrible.
into a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he's the sheriff's definitely pining for the widow.
He's pining.
Indeed. And he's very tall. He's like
6'3", 6'4".
6'4", yeah.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Yeah. Well, actually, between him and the deputy, right? They're
Yeah.
both like super tall.
Everybody.
I think they're the tallest people in town.
Yeah. That's why the sheriff and the deputy.
Oh, I hear a telegraph coming through. Is that Morse code? I hear.
SOS ASAP.
Absolutely. I mean, learning Morse code actually is a very good benefit, but it's not. No, I mean,
Do you
just
know Morse code?
no. But I think it's one of those things that you kind of should know for like survival. At least a few, right?
Right.
So like SOS. Is it long, short, long?
Oh, have a clue.
It's
I
like
also
it's
don't
almost
know
like
how to
it's
be
like
a wind
shorthand.
talker. I also don't know how to be a wind talker, so I won't be
Well,
breaking any secret codes anytime soon.
you know, so think about what they're doing, like shorthand. They're doing Morse code. I mean, they're able to communicate in very in short ways, right?
Right.
Like when I go to like write my notes, I have to do everything longhand, even though I do know cursive, so it does help. But still,
Right.
like it would be great if I knew how to do shorthand too.
The music, it doesn't know whether it wants to be happy or ominous or ominously happy. We're like, we don't know. Uh-oh.
Oh, everyone's very nosy.
Huh? We should have a list. That,
Sheriff Tod Shaw, Suddenly California Confidential Code.
hangover.
Hangover. Suddenly arrives. Suddenly arrives at suddenly.
Yep. You know good and well this is the biggest thing that's happened to them since
The gold rush.
yeah, the gold rush of that sign.
Was it 1842? Yeah.
Yeah, since 1842.
So was it Thompson is Tommy gun or something similar to it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought Thompson was like the formal name of a Tommy gun. You know,
Yeah.
no. Tommy short for Thompson.
Kind of makes sense. I actually don't know, but that does make a lot of sense. Like that's the shortened version of it. It's a machine gun essentially.
Be right with you. That's not soon enough, is. No, I want the big black Cadillac at 4:30.
The limousine?
Yeah, park it at the station. Backed in.
Somebody getting married? Like the sheriff?
Don't be funny. This is police business. Don't tell anyone.
I don't get it.
You're not supposed to. 4:30, yeah? No slip-ups.
Everyone's like, I mean, the way that is happening, right? It's like makes you curious. Like, and everyone's asking, like, what's going on? What's happening? You know?
Yeah.
And
this doofus runs in front of the train.
Right. He almost got hit by the train.
I don't know who he is, but he's stupid. Turns out it was the sheriff.
Was that who?
I think so. See, it's like he's done this a million times.
Yeah.
The sheriff, I mean.
Schultz and Kelly.
Glad to make your acquaintance. Yeah, I get your message.
You're a careful man, Sheriff.
Not always. This seemed like a good time to be there.
We
Well,
always
and they
have
all
to be.
definitely look
May I see your
dressed
credentials?
like government men.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're all
I'll get a limousine
dressed
order
very
at 4:30.
similarly.
It'll be parked
Hold
right
on,
here.
Elliot Ness is coming.
State police have 5 cars on the road from Weatherby.
Excellent.
I guess that's about it.
Not quite. You can still be of help to us.
Mr. Kearney, I know every proprietor in this town. You can take my word for
I
it.
can't take your word for anything. I'm sure they're okay. We'll park a limousine between the tracks when the special arrives.
Pretty rough in there.
Maybe.
Oh, they kind of assume that there's a limousine
All state
that's going to
police
be
cars
there.
are in
Yeah.
too.
The fact that the town here has a
Do we know-
limousine, which is
Do we
kind
know
of
why he's stopping there? Just
Bob
because
Benson,
there's.
his grandson and his daughter-in-law.
We'll check it.
Mr.
Wa-
Kearney,
was he drive?
if
Well,
there's one place in
maybe
this
he was
town
driving
that
to
needs
another
to be
town that was nearby, or another city or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it might not go into that town. So I mean,
Bob Benson.
I don't think we really know,
You don't
but
mean Peter Benson.
it would kind of make sense. Like
I'll be a monkey's
wherever he's stopping along for whatever reason, the train doesn't stop that way.
Pete Benson used to be my old boss.
Uh-oh.
So you have an old
Therefore, Mr.
federal
Schultz
agent,
will be the
or
last
not, I
one
should
we'll
say
do.
old, but a retired federal agent that lives in town.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Yes.
Probably a rectifier. Probably, two.
Who's now a TV repairman.
Come up and fix that thing before you wreck it.
Wreck it. Look, I'll have you understand I built a television transmitter in 38 before you even knew what television was.
What's
And I do wish you'd
this
call
actor
Jeff.
saying?
I don't want to bother you. Besides, it's time and a half on Saturday.
That'd be cheaper
I don't know.
than
I'm just trying to figure out why she's so busy dusting that chair.
Stop, take it.
You haven't touched her
I think like
Don't
he
want it.
plays
Thanks, darling. I made it especially for you.
he's played like in I don't know, I wouldn't say like mob
Drink your milk,
movies
darling.
per se, but something where he's like a sidekick type of thing for
I think he's made a
maybe
career.
in New York or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of crotchety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's that guy in that thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Talking to you? Right, you're finished.
The boy's just disappointed, that's all, Alan.
Dad, please stop interfering.
First
See,
you
this
cancel
is-
him out on the hike with Cub Scouts. And then,
Dad, I've had this for the last time.
Ellen, you're a grown-up girl. You got a problem you haven't worked out. That's no reason why Pitch should have your problem.
I've only done what I thought was right, Dad.
Kind of forcing her fears on
Yeah.
her son.
Yes.
Kid. Raised him pure and scientifically. First time he got out in the rough, he caught cold and died of pneumonia.
What does that have to do with Pidge?
The kid hadn't been exposed. He had no immunity. There's cruelty and hatred and tyranny in the world. You can't make believe they aren't there. And Pitch is going to learn what is the law and what isn't the law so he can defend it.
I think that is kind of a thing where it's
So he
like,
can
you
become
know,
a soldier
if
and go out and be
you
murdered like his father was?
like you have children, right? And you want to protect them from
His son was killed in the performance of his duty.
the evils and the
Being
scariness of
pulled
the
bits on
world,
some
right? But at the
godforsaken
same
battlefield
time,
thousands of miles from where
when
he was
let's say
born.
they're
You call that duty?
an adult and want to go out there, they're
Was
really
that
almost
good
like
luck with
Yeah.
Pidge?
overly
Would that make you
naive
happy?
about stuff,
Could he
and it actually can get them in more trouble. Like it's a weird balancing act you
How
really
can you
need
say
to
that,
provide. Like you need to kind of give them something to protect themselves, right? But you
Right.
don't want to overly expose them to that too.
He sounded mighty nice.
Um,
But they wouldn't have been worth a plug
But I-
nickel if somebody
that's kinda
had made 'em
the-
sick.
what I'm kind of getting with this, right? Where it's like you can't just, you know,
The window! Look out the window! Golly!
like that idea of, you know, hey, this kid was never exposed to, you know, colds and stuff like that, and he caught a cold, had pneumonia, and died.
Yeah.
Like you have to expose a little bit. It doesn't have to be like, oh, go throw them in,
Right.
you know, people who are like, you know, hold down on people who are extra sick or anything like that, right?
Right.
You know, just a little bit. It's like, you know, how it'd be like, oh, my child's eating dirt. That's okay.
Eat dirt.
They're fine.
So she's, you know, questioning patriotism with her speech about when he says was doing his duty, and she's like, was it to be blown to bits on some godforsaken country thousands of miles from home?
Yeah.
Which was the feeling of sometimes it's like, you know, you have to feel guilty that your husband died serving his country, but that still leaves her a widow, that still leaves her a son without a father. And you have to, those are things that have to be dealt with.
Right.
He's not going to crack a smile. Even when he's trying to pick up the mother, he's not even smiling.
He's very serious this entire time, right?
Well, the president's coming. He has to be serious.
Right. It's a serious event.
Oh my God. He said dilute.
Dilute?
That is some dilute.
Oh, glute.
Dilute. The only time I've ever heard that word was in Bugs Bunny.
I'm confused myself. Never have seen so many cops. What goes on? This is Mr. Carney, Special Agent of the Treasury Department, Secret Service. Carney, Slim Adams, one of my deputies. How do you do? Secret Service? I get it. They're shipping the national debt through here in gold bars. Just don't worry about it. You'll find out later. All right, come on.
Uh-oh.
Let's go and check this.
Smart, he cracked. Yeah, we'll show teeth that time. I don't think a siren's necessary to go the 3 blocks it took to get there.
Well, I mean, if they're trying to keep everything a little low key, why would you put your sirens on?
Because they're like they're so excited they don't know what to do.
I didn't come up and fix that.
Shucks, Ellen. I knew Ohm's law before they even passed it.
Well, I don't want Pitch to miss the ball game.
That's like for electricity, I think.
All right,
What?
come on,
Ohms?
get ready to plug
I
this
think that's
shit in.
electrical.
Screw down and see what
Yes. Wait, yes. Oops.
Dad, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Ellen, please.
I know, but it says on the back of that they're 5,000 volts, and that's dangerous.
Ellen, will you please stop being a woman? Ready, boy? Plug in.
Ooh.
So that was foreshadowing too.
Yeah, he almost
That
got
was 5,000 votes. Dad,
Yeah.
Maybe you better call Judge.
is it a booby trap? Who knows?
5,000 volts.
Oh, rolling hills right outside the window, on top of a hill.
It's enough to send you to the end of the room, not necessarily to kill you, but
Yeah.
Give you deader than a darning.
Will it hurt?
Like blazes.
so there's,
Stay away
yeah,
from
it's
that
kind of,
cell. Stay away from those walls.
once again, giving you an idea of what could happen.
You know what you're doing.
Why did you, Grandpa?
You got me there, boy.
I'll get it. Judd says he'll be up in a little while. Yes,
Mrs. Benson,
that's right.
is your husband at home?
My husband. No, I'm a widow.
What I should have asked was, are you the owner of this house?
No, I'm not. It belongs to my father-in-law. What is it you want?
I'm John Barron, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Here's John Barron,
Do you
Yes.
suppose I could have
and
a few
his
words with Mr. Benson?
henchmen, essentially.
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. Won't
But
you
they
come
look just like the other, you know, feds that came over.
Yeah,
So you were
exactly. Except younger. A little bit younger.
a little younger. Yep, that's
A little
true.
more handsome.
May we come in?
Why, sure. Come right in. Come right in.
And once again, so they're meeting up now
Oh, I
with
can
the father-in-law,
Used to be with the Treasury Department
who's a
myself.
former
Back in the
FBI
old days.
agent. So
Collective and total revenue, eh?
Tax collector? Not on your life.
Secret Service. Don't say.
Franco was President Coolidge's bodyguard.
You don't say.
Yep. Back in 1928. Youngest retirement in the service. Cut him a heart. Not heart, trouble, you understand. An accident on one of Cal's fishing trips. A hunter. Got the slug right here.
Say, that's a
he
nasty.
has a bullet essentially in his
Yeah.
chest,
I don't know.
and he's showing it off.
I took it out.
Well, I do.
He's just retired.
I mean, I guess if I had a pretty cool scar like that, and you know, hey, it's another FBI agent, so why not?
Sheriff like Todd.
You know, if you get a chance to
Like
show
he
your
was supposed to
chest,
grow up to be president.
go for it.
Glad to meet you, Pitch.
I ain't a sport.
Mr. Barron, what did you want to see us about? Is something wrong?
See?
Nothing yet, Mrs. Benson, but there might be. We're just checking.
On us?
On the house. Do you mind if we have a look around?
Help yourself, but what I want to
We're
know
going
is...
to have a look around with or without your permission, Mr. Benson.
Must be something the matter.
Anyone else live here besides you three?
No.
Anyone been by here today?
No.
Just the usual routine while the Harris let them out. What's this all about, Miss Barron? Just being careful. I'll explain later.
He will. He's gonna explain.
One here. Just like they said.
Who's they said?
Kitchen, back pantry, back door, stairs go down.
You
here,
know,
garage
they.
under Kitchen.
Well,
Cellar door.
so they.
Clear. Cars
Oops.
garage.
So these three come
Uh-huh.
to this house specifically. I mean, let's just say you come into town and you know this is going to be the spot. You go, oh, that's the highest point. That would be the best part, location to go from.
Don't be alarmed. There's nothing wrong.
But no,
Something wrong with the
they
FBI.
know her name.
It's a visit for the hacker.
Well, I won't stay. I'll take
The fact that they're saying, oh yeah, no, it's just the way that they said it was going to be laid out.
No, what's
Uh-huh.
Like, there's all this info that's been, gathered for this situation. So it makes you wonder, like, who
did the intel?
Yeah, who did the intel? Who's
Yeah.
part of this?
I think that's what we call a plot hole.
Official business.
Right, because you kind of like want to figure out where,
Yeah.
like, who is feeding that information, right, to
Yeah.
this,
Getting old and stupid or outside.
to support this assassination.
The President of the United States arrives in town on a special.
Golly, the president.
Once again, like at this point, right,
Yeah.
You mean to say the president's going to get
they're still acting like feds, right? Like they're giving
She gotta go down and see him.
enough information,
Yeah.
although probably
Greatest thing ever happened in
uh,
this town.
We gotta go and see him.
information that should be
Sorry.
providing at this point, right, to civilians, but still I mean,
Here, put
they're-
her out back.
providing the
See
facts
back
at
door's
this
locked
point,
tight.
right?
Check the cellar to be sure.
The bare minimum facts.
Yeah.
I still don't understand, Mr. Benson. It should be obvious to you that if anybody wanted to kill the president, he could do a beautiful job of it right from this window of yours. Well, Mike, that may be true, but you don't think that Ellie and me... Of course not. But we have to remain here to protect you and the president from somebody else who might. Oh.
He seems very skeptical, which,
Well, he should be, because
But-
he
but
used to
really?
do this for a living.
but would you, I mean, it makes logical sense, right? Like, honestly, I would think, like, yeah, that it makes sense. This is a perfect spot for, a sniper or whatever.
Steady strangers in town during the
No, it's great that you have an FBI there to make sure that you're safe.
Sure, I'm sure.
I don't know. For me, I wouldn't be as skeptical as he is right now.
We get them all the time. Stopping for gas and bite to eat, that's all.
We want to know from either you or your deputies the minute any stranger doesn't keep going through.
Then, this isn't routine.
No, it isn't.
Can you tell me?
The Los Angeles police picked up a small-time stool pigeon the night before last, shot through the lungs and left for dead. Smiley Bitters. Before he died, he told them something was up.
Smiley Bitters.
What do you mean something was up?
An assassination attempt.
Well, can you believe
Okay.
that?
So they know something's.
Yes.
I mean, the tip of a dying
Okay, so this actually changes
Still leasing very
the idea.
good
Like,
in America.
you assume this entire time that the president is going to stop, right?
Crime is
Right.
crime, but this is
But if
something
they have
else.
an assassination attempt, like they kind of know what's going to happen, potentially, you honestly would change your,
I think they would like
Your
let the
plans.
president come through. Does
They-
he have to come through this town?
right, I think that they would change the plan.
Yeah.
And the fact, just the suspected assassination
But-
attempt.
Yeah.
But you can find the people who are trying to do it. So this is interesting. This might be a booby trap.
Maybe.
I just thought about that. Interesting.
We found one.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a booby trap for a booby trap.
Exactly.
Understand. I was in the service myself, so you told me. Though we made every precautionary check, we never went to extremes like this unless you were tipped that there was to be an attempted assassination. You don't mean it. I mean it. But you're
Easy.
FBI.
So-
Secret Service is responsible.
Okay, so now I'm even more confused, right? Because they,
Have a look down there.
like, I don't know. Like, because they even mentioned the fact that there might be an assassination, right?
Yeah.
Like-
You don't know if old Dane Carney is down there,
I
do
don't
you?
know, I'm just-
He and I worked together in the old days. He's chief of the
It
presidential
made more sense
staff.
when they were talking about it down by the train station with
Yeah.
real cops and with the real FBI.
Terrible.
But for him to say that too, like, it's interesting because it's still, once again, it's playing along exactly how the others are doing it.
Somebody's driving over.
It'd be odd that they would even mention that, but I think because the father-in-law is just like so
He's the
skeptical
sheriff. Better.
about everything,
Someone with him.
he just has to reveal more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen him before.
Well, for the love of Mike. What? Well, who doesn't know Dane Carney? Great.
I'll have to for the love of Mike. I don't know who Mike is, but he comes up a lot in this movie.
Come on, you make yourself at home. This is my daughter-in-law.
How do you do?
This is my grandson, Pidge.
How you been?
Pidge, this is Mr. Carney, Secret Service. He guards the president.
Like Mr. Barron?
There. Oh, you didn't know. You boys got here ahead of me.
So
See, there's that sinister look.
yeah, that's the first time like for Sinatra, his face changes. He looks very sinister. It's just like wow.
Yeah.
For me, that's like a mark of a good actor, actress. Like you can change the way that your face looks, right, from one to another. It's just like his eyes look like they're cold, right? Like
Very sinister.
yeah, wow. Like his demeanor, he's totally
Poor Dan.
So take a rug with you, so give away. You get the message, brave boy?
Did she faint?
Pidge, now you gotta be still. No noise.
You stay!
Pidge, shut up. Guts. He's only 8. Lots of guts.
Mom.
What's over with you? You're all busted up. All right, you got it now. Let's be practical. I don't want any more shooting around here. I want it nice and quiet and cozy. I'll get her up and bring her around and explain to her that one's phony and she's got a kid with his throat cut.
Oh.
That's pretty dastardly for 1954. You just didn't hear dialogue like that very much. So that's
Well, and it's pretty
unusual.
graphic.
Yeah.
You're gonna slit his throat, the boy's throat, man.
Well, that's because he doesn't want any more shooting.
Right.
Everybody is all right. You've got to get a hold of yourself. No matter what happens.
Let go of her. He's just getting a hold of herself.
Make one false move, you'll murder the boy. You understand? You'll murder Pidge.
Did you hear him, lady?
Yeah, she's lady. He knew who she was when she answered the door, and all of a sudden she's just lady.
Move the kitchen table in front of the window. All right, sit down, sit down. Look at your TV. It ain't working. Well, work him over then. Fix him up. Don't sit there waiting to blow your cork. Keep yourselves occupied. I gotta think.
They blow your cork.
To make a list of all these mobster sayings.
Yeah.
Not mobsters, but bad guy sayings.
We need a doctor. Look at his face.
Tell her, Pop. You're the doctor, Ellen. We can't have no doctor.
We can't set a broken arm.
Did you?
Me?
Straighten his fracture.
You couldn't take it.
Ooh.
I mean, he got pleasure out of.
Yeah, he did. That, yeah, he enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Take him into the bedroom.
Uh-oh. Time to get frisky.
The boy stays here.
I don't know, maybe not too frisky. He still is bleeding, so.
Her timing stinks.
You got a gun.
Hate guns, love guns. Hate guns, love guns.
Well, I'm assuming the mother doesn't know about the gun.
Yeah.
It's loaded.
Shouldn't say a word, though.
I know, I'm surprised. Now, of course, he has to find the cartridges for it, so.
Leave him alone, Benny. It's you what he said. Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, he doesn't have a loaded gun in the drawer with the kid who's just, opening whatever access in it, so.
This thing's metal. Steel top, chrome legs. I figured wood. No difference. Use the bracket, screw them to the leg and then to the floor. That way the table won't dance.
You're a coward. You're a bunch of cowards.
Wow.
And you're getting too fresh.
See?
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Johnny, why all the trouble? Big deal. This is a lot of work.
Do it, Benny.
But Johnny, I don't see what we
Just do it, Benny. Once you get the gun anchored, you got a solid.
So not everything is totally up to his plans, right? Like,
Right.
he's gonna have a wooden table, not a metal table.
We got just 3 seconds to nail the present. The table to shimmy when we get to it.
Tommy gun would do just as good.
Tommy gun stinks. No accuracy, no punch. Might as well use a
Well,
revolver.
I mean, so they're gonna
This
do
is a gun.
a Tommy gun from where they're at. Like, that's way too far to do damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Flat holes.
Well, I mean, obviously that's the reason why they're using the rifle, right? So
Yeah.
they can be more of like a sniper.
Right.
Like this.
But obviously the other guy hasn't done this sort of work before, right?
Right.
Because they're like, well, no, you just take a Tommy gun and just, spray, spray and shoot.
I got a silver star. North the casino. Pocket of resistance.
He got a silver star.
27 men.
27 men he killed.
I want a silver star. Metal.
Silver Star.
Stole it.
Oh, that kid is.
Boy, did he have that coming.
Stay there.
Ooh, jeez.
he's had that coming for about 20 minutes.
Silver Star.
That was the second time.
I don't think you win a silver star. It's not like a blue ribbon at the state fair.
I think it's more, it's earned through different activities, but I wouldn't think that it would be based off of how many people you killed.
Yeah, get him back in here.
Jake said, what? Was that a third? What?
What are you all trying to pull?
Are they?
Inside.
I'm just wondering if they're trying to create a narrative or prove the narrative that he's a stone cold killer, or that what's the difference? He killed 27 men and got a silver star for it.
So maybe you better sit down and stay.
But if he's not in the military killing the enemy, I'm air quoting that, enemy, then all of a sudden he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So you can see where his confusion might be, which I'm sure happened to a lot of soldiers coming home. It's like, they were paid by the United States government to be killers.
Right, and so you're going to transition into civilian life. It's like that work that maybe you're really good at, right?
Right.
You come back into, civilian life, and it's like that's not a job anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's not something that is condoned, right, in your own when you come home.
Right. Well, that he's killing guys he didn't even know. He doesn't know the president. To him, it's just he's killing another guy at a distance. Notice he's not walking up to him and shooting. He's shooting from a hilltop. It's just another guy he doesn't. In his mind, just another guy he doesn't know, and who cares, right?
Well, it seems like generally that's kind of almost like what he was doing anyway, right? Like it seemed like he was doing it from afar.
We're here for a reason, and if we break it, we might
We don't know
the
specifics.
Man slings the paper over the fence around 4:30, sir. Delivery boy. Does he come in? Anyone else? So I have one up the mountain hunting jackrabbits. He'll be buying his way back. Will he stop? Not unless he's got something to brag about. Anybody else? Nobody.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw that guy come back. So
Right.
I guess he didn't get enough jackrabbits to brag about.
That's an interesting question.
What's the interesting answer?
You guess.
Tell him, Tom.
Sheriff, if you think I have any qualms about killing this kid, you couldn't be more wrong.
Oh,
Think about killing him or you or her
And
or him.
at the end of the day,
So I wouldn't be getting
talking
paid
about
for
killing the child, right? The most vulnerable individual, right, in the house.
Right.
I
Neither
mean,
do I.
it puts that leverage
Right.
in your hands.
Your guts are showing.
No one wants to see a child die, so they're going to do whatever they're told to
You see the
protect
way
them,
I figure
Right.
you're burying a dead man anyway.
even if it is pretty
So's
mouthy.
So's Ellen, so's Pop. It's just a question of an hour later. If it gives the president a bit of an edge, why then we get it now.
They won't hurt us. They won't hurt Pidge. He said so.
Because it's convenient, Ellen. You think these crumbs would kill the president and then take off, leaving us behind to identify them?
You said you wouldn't hurt Pidge.
Sure, and I meant it. Don't listen to this guy. He's just being brave with your kid's life. I know guys like that in the Army. We're just doing a job, that's all. Identifying us is not involved. By 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be out of the country and you'll never see us again.
Tell him, Todd. Tell him.
Never mind, lady. We'll just assume that they knew he was coming up here. So that if somebody else comes up to check on him, you can tell him the sheriff and his friend were here, but they had to go someplace else. That's all.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Goodbye.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I don't need help.
All right. Get the tripod up there. Joe, hold on each leg. Bolt the tripod to the table. Put it center in front of the window.
Look, we've
What
looked
you
at
sit
there.
down.
Just
But
switching my
it just shows like how tall he is
Yeah.
comparative
They
to
have
the
to
other
look
two guys.
up.
Yeah.
Sheriff,
His neck, he's literally looking up.
Because that's never been done before. Neither is this.
Doesn't that worry you?
Haven't got time to worry. I just make my plans and carry them out.
That's what John Wilkes Booth thought, too.
Oh.
I know, actor.
Yeah, they're
Most of my
talking
leg on
about some of the
stage, so
other
I can yell down with a
people who
tongue.
assassinated presidents.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't such a hammy
So
motivation.
it's Booth.
He fought that, though.
The guy who killed Garfield didn't make it either.
Him? He didn't plan anything. Just took a lucky shot, strictly left-handed. Just
So
like
Garfield was assassinated. That's the other president.
Yeah.
I knew there was another one.
He had to try it in a crowd.
They mentioned Roosevelt.
So nobody ever made it.
So yeah, Lincoln, Roosevelt. No. Well, Roosevelt,
Just a guy making a living.
obviously, he was like,
And I
there was
think
an
you stress
attempt,
on
I
that,
think.
Yeah.
As you were.
But I don't
Taft.
think he was
There was an
injured.
attempt on Taft.
Taft, yeah. Obviously,
But
there's
take a look
Kennedy.
at his work.
Those, I mean, obviously more modern ones, right? So Kennedy, even Reagan
Let's see what's going on
attempted.
now, especially the station plan.
Trump
Reagan,
recently,
Reagan
so,
attempted.
yeah.
Because we can fly a plane.
JFK obviously was, then you have the ones that were Abe Lincoln, the most well known, because probably a lot of people don't know Garfield.
Yeah.
Assassinated.
Yeah. And, really for all of these activities, too, it's done by gun. It's not done by poison like they did back in Roman times, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it is more, I think
Because you can't get
generally
like
it's
that.
more up close and personal, but obviously that's not the case for all, right? So
And
some of them are like close up, and others are then far further. Like this is setting up, right? So he has a gun set up on a table in front of a window, pointed towards the railroad.
Right.
So that's
Can't do this. You can't do
it's
it.
gonna be something where you can get away from,
Right.
right?
Well, you have, presidents don't ride around in convertibles anymore.
Yeah.
It's a sad lesson. It was a very, very sad lesson to learn, but a lot of crazy people out there.
Well, and it's obviously not just in
I mean, yeah.
U.S. presidents, it's other
Right.
countries.
Another kind of parallel, and I wonder, this movie we talked about them not showing this movie after JFK was assassinated, is Lee Harvey Oswald had been in the military as well, and probably I think messed with his mind a little bit.
Well, it makes you wonder if he felt like a companionship with,
Right.
Barron's. Just like, wow, yeah, no, I felt the same thing. I understand, the same feelings that were being described in here, right? Because I couldn't imagine. It's not, this is. Imagine that there are multiple people that were feeling like this, right?
Right.
It's not just a one-off. You have a lot
In
of
present day, this would be the guy who has PTSD, right? See.
And back then, you didn't have, really the medical attention or, the knowledge, really, right, of that.
Right.
This is actually, something that needs to be taken care of.
Is that real? It's real, all right. What's your name? Kelly. What are you doing here? I came to fix the television set. All right, Bob, chase it.
So this guy looks familiar.
Yes.
What is this? A stick?
But it's.
Yeah.
I can't point it.
Well, he is. Fun fact.
You too.
He is Maureen O'Hara's brother.
Don't take it.
Okay.
Did they rob the bank?
Was he in other films or something like that? Because
Uh-huh.
I recognize his face, but he's definitely not like a main character person, right? So the TV repairman,
Right.
but his face looks familiar from something.
Well, you might know him
That's
from
Service call.
one of Maureen O'Hara's
Don't make me
most
nervous, mister. I'm not gonna be a hero.
known movies, which was The Quiet Man.
Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah. Does that ring a bell with you?
And the kid gets it.
Well, there was a lot of Irish people in that film. It
Well,
was
yes.
filmed in Ireland.
It was, yeah. So, yeah.
Who specifically was he playing? Like, what
I
was
think
his
he-
character, I guess?
I think he played a priest.
Arnie back yet? No.
Okay, so he was the young priest. There's like the older
Yes.
priest and then there's the young priest. So I can like imagine him like running to get his bicycle or whatever. So
School supplies. But you know who really needs the money more than
Yeah. So you have a little bit of a little bit of irony there, which is her brother played a father. Oh, younger brother, no less.
Yeah.
Quite handsome though, right?
yeah, no, he is. It was just like, and it probably I don't know when that film was made, but it's probably around the same time frame because he looks around the same age, right?
Right.
I'm gonna grab a bite, Bud. Watch him. Bring me a little glass of milk, would you, Johnny? My Elsa's murdering me. Just watch him, Bud. Watch him.
Excuse me.
Would somebody tell me what it Be quiet.
Now here's where he gets tell her his hard luck story. Because there's
Yeah.
got to be a hard luck story in this.
Yeah. Oh, she does that now. She's like,
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's interesting. She has these thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't really act them out per se.
She's very much the epitome of a early 1950s woman. She's, no matter how tough the situation is, she's perfectly poised still. You know?
True, she fainted and she looks,
And
her hair is still all set and everything. Yeah.
And she looks very distraught. Looks like she, you know, she's going to attempt to be the hero, but then no.
My old man was
She needs a man to rescue her. She can't do
They
this.
left me in a home. A home. When I was a kid, I swore that one day I'd kill them both.
So
I didn't have to.
in his youth, he had some issues with his parents. Like,
Feelings?
I think his feelings were hard
The experts took care of that.
to express. Maybe. But obviously, it seems like he had a very hard childhood for his story so far.
Oh, he's a hard luck guy.
Yeah. But it almost seems like him going into the military and then finding his niche, right? And then he became somebody. Whereas maybe before, when his kids were, when he was like, his parents were drunk, so no one really cares about him. Like, he's now risen above that.
Right.
Through this activity.
That's a pretty good model, isn't it? They make them real with that, don't they?
So that's interesting. That cap gun. So the fake gun that the kid has.
Yeah.
It looks very real.
Right.
And that's actually something that's kind of also will be a good
foreshadowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I need some milk. Pain's pretty bad. Where's Penny? Why don't we hear from Penny?
Ooh, what was the guy's name? Was that
Penny.
Smiley Benny?
That was the stool pigeon.
Yeah.
Smiley Bennett or something like that.
No,
I don't remember.
Smiley Penny.
They all have
Benny.
nicknames. Yeah. Smiley Benny.
Well, no, because it was like, oh, well, I wonder if that's the connection where he got caught because he was shot. He told. So they now know. So maybe that's the connection. It's almost like you need to go back and make
I
sure.
don't remember what Smiley's last name is, but it was Smiley.
Smiley. So I'm wondering if it was that's who they're referencing.
Uh-huh.
They can't. They couldn't do a thing like that.
They're stinking traitors.
Is that
They're
the
fake
Irish
McDonald's.
twang there?
Are you guys crazy? You can't do a thing like that.
I'm telling you.
Do you realize what that means?
Oh, it's like there.
Uh-huh.
He's your president, too.
I'm telling you, he's trying really, really hard to hide that Irish accent.
Usually I'm not hearing it, but now like you think about it, you're like, oh, I heard a twang there and there. So.
He's like Kevin Costner in Robin Hood. It comes and goes. He's English, he's not English. What is he? Is he from Jersey? Or is he from London? Nobody knows.
What's in it for you?
You're curious, aren't you, Sheriff?
Want to laugh?
Everyone's curious in this film.
Yeah.
I like you, Sheriff. You got guts. You must have been a good soldier.
He eats a lot for a killer.
I worked so
It takes a lot of energy.
Killed 27 Jerrys all by myself.
You're a born killer, that's all.
So it is interesting. Like the sheriff keeps on kind of mentioning, like, oh, you're a born killer.
Yeah.
It's like,
You know what? Do a lot of
was he or was it just circumstance and then
same thing and they fry
you
you
know,
for it.
later on he found a niche for himself, right? That just happens to be killing.
Right.
Yeah, over there.
But I don't know, maybe.
A guy invents a bomb and kills 100,000 people just like that, and maybe gets more medals.
Here, you put a slug in a double-crossing squirt that isn't even worth burying, and you have to take the gas.
See, they talked about the dichotomy.
Smiley Bitters. Okay.
Smiley Bitters. That's
So
what it was.
it's the wrong. So we had a different person. Okay.
Okay. So he said there's a comment in a nutshell where he said you plug. There's another gangster term. All these men when you're wearing a uniform and you get a medal. You play a guy that nobody even cares about in civilian life, and you get the gas.
Right.
And they've mentioned that theme over and over and over again about, and it makes sense because that's bothered me. So it's like, how do you tell somebody that it's okay to kill under the certain circumstances, but it's not okay over here?
Right.
And if you send somebody who already had problems anyway, then because probably he was already had problems.
Yeah.
I hated that pride.
And next thing you know, you desensitized him.
Yeah.
After you killed the 27 men, what's one more?
Right. Well, and I think
What's
also
two
he
more?
doesn't even,
Faces would
like,
be me.
it doesn't even matter that it's the president, right? It's just one more man that I'm gonna kill.
But the war changed everything, eh, Baron?
I'm no traitor, Sheriff. I won a Silver Star.
Oh boy.
I think that was
Just
the
learned
third
how
time.
to kill.
Yeah. If we were playing a drinking game, I'd be drunk.
Maybe I did. Maybe that changed everything. Maybe people began to know who I was.
And that's I think once again people started to notice me, know who I was. The fact that he got an award, which I know we're kind of laughing about, like, oh, the Silver Star, but the fact is that that's really, really important to him. It showed that he got recognized for doing a really good job about something, right? So it is a big deal for him, and it you know, obviously it made him feel really good about himself that he received that. So
weird
you can
thing-
understand why he wouldn't want to let that go.
Well,
Make my own laws about the taxes too, Pop. The guy who's goofy.
Shut up, Judge.
Listen to him, Buster. And don't ever say that again. Ever.
told him he was goofy.
You heard him, Judge.
Yeah, that's a lot of scratch, Sheriff.
Scratch.
Scratch.
I'm out of scratch.
How do you know it'll ever be paid?
Half of it's been paid.
And the rest?
So he already has $250,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
So I had to take that.
I mean, you could just run it. I mean, think about how much like costs to like buy a hamburger.
Yeah, well, you figure though, he's a killer with principles now.
Right.
Let's be
Okay.
fair about it now.
True.
Because tonight at 5 o'clock, I kill the president. 1 second after 5, there's a new president. What changes? Nothing. What are they paying for? Nothing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken a job, Sheriff.
You'd have taken it.
You think so?
Yeah.
So
Saved by the bell.
confused. So if it's doesn't so essentially he's killing it really doesn't matter that the fact that he's gonna kill the president. Essentially, you know, once he's dead, another person will be in place. That's the reason why he's doing it. I don't understand why
Yeah.
that thought process.
Yeah,
for him.
yeah. They're not really nailing down. It's for money. He doesn't.
I mean, I guess it's for money, but even that didn't seem like he really cared all that much though either. I don't know. It's weird,
Right.
like how they're portraying that,
Get back as soon as you can and don't be followed.
or maybe I'm missing something. One or the other.
No, I think the director wanted to go a different direction and really didn't play that, was focusing on something else and really wasn't going to get into the whys.
Mhm.
Maybe because you don't want to. Close as he came is to give this making the Baron character human was that his parents were alcoholics and he was thrown into a home. But
Yes, officer.
he's just. I think he mentioned he's just like when he got out, he did jobs other people wouldn't do,
Passing through.
and
Your card. I don't have one.
maybe that's just like I can do this, nobody else can, which makes I guess he makes him feel special. So,
What trade?
but you're less. I agree. My issue with this movie
Now that's right, strange.
as a whole is I'm not really
Because
understanding
we don't have any
motivation
trade that stops
behind
here,
some things.
except today. And that happens to be a special that you don't know about. Except that you
So
know.
the henchman messed up.
Yeah.
He didn't realize that the 5 o'clock train wasn't on a normal schedule. This is a
Right.
special.
Come on, now look up, sir.
So now the deputy's
I
like,
got identification.
It's a 5 o'clock special because it's the 5:05.
I got my driver's license right here.
well, the fact that he just like shoots the deputy,
He's panicky.
he's
But-
panicking. Yeah.
See, John Bear would have never done that. He's cool as ice. Right?
Well, and then it's a huge shootout.
Boy,
Well,
those
and you can hear
sirens
everywhere,
have-
obviously, because they're hearing it up on the top of the hill.
Well, yeah, because when you go down the street, you have to turn the sirens on. They probably haven't turned those sirens on since 1892. Right?
I don't know if they've had those vehicles back then, so.
Well, you get on their wagon. They had sirens on their wagon. The horse and buggy, there were sirens.
Sirens. Well, I mean, they could have had, I guess, a siren. You know, you have sirens that are in the towns and that.
I just think it's hilarious that they can't go 3 blocks down the street.
I think the other one was even more funny because it was like, okay, we're gonna try to keep this all like low key,
Right.
but let's turn on the sirens.
Gotta make a phone somewhere. What a big dummy to get
Oh
out
my
of the
goodness! So you have that all of a sudden Tommy gun.
Yeah, the Tommy gun is all.
And the guy's still in the car.
I told you not to kill him. Not to kill him. After he was our only link.
Well, Well, one thing
Oh, they leave him there.
knows that there's a gunman out there, and he gets out of his car like he's in a like he's just.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
that they're really truly
Confused.
aware, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, no. Well, no, they were telling some people, not everyone,
Yeah.
right? About, oh yeah, there might be an assassination attempt. Other people might just think, oh, the president is coming through, right? Like not knowing that this is a trap, essentially, to trap the assassin. So we think now.
Everybody except the suspense. What are you gonna do? Nothing, I hope. Move. Anybody gets brave, kill them all. You can only hang once.
Not wrong.
No. You can only hang
In
once.
for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
There yourself. I want you to look.
Boy, everybody wants to get her to get a grip on herself, get a handle on herself.
All of us dead. So be yourself.
What you mean?
They'll come up here to check whether Connie and the sheriff were here, and I want you to go out front. I don't want them in the house.
I can't. I don't know how. I don't know what to say.
Just go out and water the flowers. Do anything you like, but be busy. Lipstick and rouge, quick.
Okay. Lipstick and rouge. Rouge that.
Check
Rouge
whether Connie and
cheeks.
the sheriff were here. Certainly they were here. They came up to check the house, but at 3 o'clock they left here.
The lipstick's.
On a white string
Did she
bridge
put, where's the rouge?
I don't think the lipstick's all that bright either.
No, only their shade. So it works out.
Lady, or everybody is dead. Everybody.
See, I don't know about you, but at their point of view, like, you know what? Enough of this. Enough. I don't hear it. No more threats and whatever. You know, I get tired of being drug around, being told to do. I mean, this has been. But she's still all weepy.
I mean, she kind
She's
of tries
watering
at
the
the end.
flowers.
She tries at the very
Yeah.
end. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Then you must be one of Mr. Connie's men.
That's right.
But I mean, the guy should be a little bit like, look at her face, right?
About 3 o'clock to check the
Like,
house, they said.
Everything on her face is saying there's something wrong.
Why, Mr.
No,
Connie
she has
and Sheriff
rouge
Shaw,
on.
Then they said they had to check the White Springs.
Is the rouge like camouflaging the concern she
That's what
has?
Was it rouge? You get it.
Oh, okay.
That's why he told her to put it on, because it's like when Superman puts glasses on, all of a sudden you can't tell it's him anymore. Like you right now? I'm howling.
Wait.
Oh my God, who are you?
You haven't heard from them since they left?
Oh,
Oh, here I am. I'm back.
Something's wrong. I know something's wrong.
No, Mrs. Benson, nothing's wrong.
So I mean, she's trying to get like the point across without saying anything, but
wink, wink, nod, nod.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Very important. Thanks.
He's very unobservant for being FBI agent, right? I think they're supposed to have a little bit more
All right, lady.
observation skills, supposedly, but
She's all disheartened that they didn't notice. All you had to do is go, behind me.
yeah.
Very nice. Very nice job. Congratulations.
Drop dead.
She's not happy.
No.
She's like,
No, see? Did you hear what he said? You don't like me, do you? Weirdest damn question.
What you're doing.
Why do you say that?
why is he talking about roast beef now? Like, just
I'm
random.
holding you hostage. I've threatened to kill your kid, what, a dozen times now. Slit his throat. You don't like me, do you?
Jeez.
What?
You have
Ooh,
Just
foreshadowing.
give me a
Yeah.
chance.
Just give me a, well, you had chances already. Here's your next chance.
Go ahead, take it. Remember the squirt in the cellar.
Boy, this colorized version. She looks a little green.
That's actually very dangerous. Drop the gun like that.
Let's not think of ourselves.
Oh,
I didn't give you a whole chance.
that's right. He doesn't have the clip in there.
Yeah.
Although, like once again, does he have a bullet in the chamber? I don't know.
Well, in one of our later episodes, we'll find out whether there's a bullet and about a bullet being in the chamber with 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. No, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots.
Didn't I tell you to fix the television set?
Okay.
Do we know what that one is? We'll see,
Fix it,
right?
keep it from getting patriotic.
Don't want to give it away.
No.
Maybe somebody out there. If you know what that is, please,
I don't like what you say anyway.
please go on to Instagram, go on one of the social platforms, and know that was it 1 shot, 2 shots? No. It was 3 shots, 4 shots, 2 shots. That comes from a movie. We'll be doing it later in the season.
Yep.
Funnier than this. This is unintentionally funny in some places. I mean, I know women have poor choice than men, but
About 200 yards.
One thing I'm noticing is you really aren't hearing the sound.
Yeah. You know?
So you hear us talking, but you don't really hear that. Yeah.
All the way from
It's
the
okay.
cancer
Yeah. We'll just
I want to still
shorten
start.
party stuff.
Calling to the L by way of the phone.
No. You're one of those big shot guys, huh? With the gold bar on the shoulder.
No, I was a corporal. How about you?
Corporal. I
Frank
made sergeant.
Sinatra. It's like, somebody give me a box to stand on here.
No, sir.
I'm feeling very Tom Cruisey.
Like, I'm wondering, I mean, I understand you're trying to get his face in that, because obviously this is kind of almost an emotional thing for him, because I think he's more of an officer than Baron.
Like I said
But,
before, you're a born-
right, if you wanted to show a little bit more, like, I think if you put the sheriff on the other side, it would make him look smaller.
Right. What if you just do like Tom Cruise does, just make him stand, seriously, I'm not even kidding, get him a box, let him stand on a box.
Any infantry? Are you kidding?
I wonder if that's part of it, though, too, right?
Make
Have
him look
someone-
small.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like you're almost like, I don't know if pettiness is the right word, but just like, everything or just more of like, you know, being a small man for doing this sort of activity, right? Maybe that's part of it. Or, you know, once again, you're making this up, I don't know.
Maybe shooting down on our PWs, huh? Sit down and shut up. Well, you got away with it, so I got it. Section 8. You went out on a Section 8.
So what's Section 8 then? Do you know?
Mentally having mental issues. Klinger kept trying to wearing dresses. Remember Klinger wore dresses and MASH?
Oh, right.
So he did that because he kept wanted a Section 8. So it's a discharge. You can get out discharged, but you don't have to be dishonorably discharged.
Okay.
So, because remember how upset he got before? We called him Goofy.
Mm.
Now he's Todd, darling.
Yeah.
Boy.
Gonna keep your chop shut? Yeah.
Yeah, she's all of a sudden she's very lovey-dovey.
She's just all over the place. This is a very emotional time for her.
You were right. You blew the
It's probably the most affection she's shown him probably ever.
You know, I was thinking, Judd, if you would have clamped the main plate laid to a good ground like that table there, you get a better picture, a lot of lines in it. Clamp the main plate lead to the table.
It's like, wink, wink, wink. Clamp
Really?
the main cable to the metal leg of the. Hey, are you trying to set up a booby trap?
He is.
5,000
But
volts
I'm going to find
from the
out.
TV.
Yes, I have to find out. Somebody needs to. I keep thinking I want to call him. She can't call him, but tell me. I need to know if 5,000 volts is a little much for a television because it sounds like a whole lot to me. Maybe it's not.
I don't even know.
And I'm not an electrician.
Nor am I.
I don't think they are either. Somebody needed. That's why they have consultants on the set.
That's true.
So you know.
Dad, what is it? Artie has a bad heart.
Hey, my pals, top drawer of the bureau.
Oh, yes. Okay, heart health.
Well, you could use that 5,000 volts. It'll be just like the jump ring that they do in the hospital. The paddles.
Maybe that's how they figured that out. I don't know. Oh. So
Uh-oh.
he finds the real gun. And
He looks a little sinister himself. You know, I don't think this kid has any other acting credits. I couldn't find anything on him. His name's Kim.
So interesting. So that he is hiding the cap gun and kind of replacing it with the real gun. So
Right.
now he actually has the real gun in his hand. Of course, you know, everyone's going wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
Like this is, you know, now everyone's looking at the real gun.
Yeah,
It's like, stop
staring.
looking!
Yeah.
You've been thinking you'd like to take a crack at this rifle.
You think I want to get myself killed?
Yes. Frankly, Sheriff, I don't think you'd mind getting yourself killed.
Stop looking at the gun.
He wants to die.
We have to talk about it. Why don't you shut up?
Everybody shut up.
Hey, I wonder what I want to get myself killed.
5 minutes to 5.
I don't know that kid just decided not to do anymore.
I mean,
When he did this, he's like,
pressure,
you know.
think about it, for a kid to be part of that. It's probably not very fun either.
But it's just weird for it not. It's the only acting role. You're like, you know what? We're done.
I said nobody ever made it. You won't either.
You don't think so?
So you got a plane. You'll never
So he
reach
touches
it
the
to
gun.
police. And if you say you'll never
He
make it
pushes
to
the
work,
gun
you ever
as he
get
sits
jet
down, and he doesn't notice. But you know what?
trips there are between
It's a
here?
distraction, right?
You know, a fella could get an education.
So the sheriff's distracting him,
You said
and
that
so
was
he's not even
over.
thinking
Hey,
the fact like,
smart
oh,
guy would hit the road right
I just
now.
touched a real
Fly out
gun.
of here. Skip the president. Spend the money in South America. Alive.
He's right, Johnny.
Want to take the risk? We can laugh now. We can make it. We don't have to fool with this thing.
See, he should have been doing this whole, like, trying to get the other two henchmen
Yeah.
to back out of it, right?
Well, one's gone. We're down to two.
Right, but I mean, if you had done that earlier on, really try, like, honestly, they could have both gone off, you know, on him or both left, right? So then it's just him with all these other people that, you know,
Yeah.
how he's going to be able to do anything.
The thing is, all of them have to die for the very fact that, and it's proven that the bad guys have to die because people don't like it when the bad guys win. So it's like they're gonna have to somehow or another. There's gonna have to be a reckoning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like people don't like it.
So Bart, you just gotta realize
I haven't mentioned it before, but do you recognize his mug? See, I said mug. That's my gangsta talk.
Well, you were saying that's Hayden. So is it
Sterling, yeah.
Sterling Hayden?
Is it
Yeah.
Sterling? Right.
They won't get us.
Who's playing
Not us.
detective?
Oh,
Excuse me,
the sheriff, yeah.
Leave it to me.
It took me a minute. A whole lot of minutes. A little bit cheating. Okay, I cheated a little bit. But one of the greatest movies of all time, The Godfather, right? So he was the Irish police officer
That's the way it is.
that was murdered in the restaurant when
If you had the gun, I'd be the chump and you'd be
Michael
the gun.
Corleone was
The gun
hid the gun in the bathroom, and the whole plot was to
Funny sort of feeling.
take him out, and because he was part of the plot to kill his father.
Miss the man if you had a mind.
So it was a revenge killing,
Kill him dead in his tracks.
and so he was the cop there that got killed.
I liked it.
Interesting.
Yes. So he wasn't always the good guy.
Right.
He was very villainous in that.
First time I got one on my hands and killed a man, I got some self-respect.
Now here's where it gets where he should be served with the side of
This kid over
coleslaw.
here. If this was a real gun,
You know?
I didn't have a gun. He'd be a kind of a god too.
Well, it is one of those. So this is like kind of showing kind of once again like the gun helped him rise
Right.
in society essentially,
Well,
or respect, like essentially power, kind of almost more respect, right? Whether it's like true respect or not, but what
Right.
he feels is more respect
well,
towards
the
him.
way he feels like he's respected.
Exactly.
Through power and intimidation and violence.
Oh. So we got a booby trap.
Oh.
I think coming up pretty soon.
No. Get your glass.
Oh. So remember, we have the power that's clamped. So they have the electricity that's going to be clamped down to the table leg. That's metal.
Water's gonna ground him. Right.
The water. The father-in-law just spilled some water, so now he's stepping in water.
Yes.
TV's plugged in. He's touching metal. Nope.
Where's it now?
Oh, under the train.
Outside town.
All right. Nobody
So he's
knows this is
paused.
it. You over there.
Who's gonna do the booby trap?
Let me see what's
gonna happen? What's
do
gonna
it,
happen?
Bob. This
Was
is
it
gonna
coming?
be-
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
Oh! So the henchman got it. He is being electrocuted.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he also has his finger on the trigger, so he's kind of unconsciously pulling the trigger as he's being
Well,
electrocuted.
he's been electrocuted and shot.
Well, now he's being shot from, yes. Which is
We did
interesting.
this booby trap, didn't we?
Actually, you know what? It might have been, that was earlier. It must have been.
Great big
Because
beautiful booby trap.
yeah, because it was that was that right. There's two booby traps if you think about it. Well, multiple ones actually. We even said the third, but
Oh yeah.
the main two are the fact that they set up that like the table in front of the window with the gun from the house that points down into
Oh,
the
yeah.
train station, and that's kind of like the first
Uh-oh.
big beautiful booby trap, right?
Yeah.
And the second one was now. But then also we were talking about technically there's a third.
He took a shot at him.
Yeah, the kid did. Ooh.
I think this is the climax.
So okay, he's gonna look how happy he is. He's so excited he's gonna be
Yeah.
the president. And
All this for
the
that.
train didn't stop. So the mother has the gun now in her hand.
Yes. He's gonna cry.
So she shot him. I guess
I don't
it got
blame
to
her.
the
I think
point.
he's tired of him at this point too.
I was saying that third booby trap, right? Was so that third booby trap once again was the fact that they essentially the feds create a booby trap for the assassin because the train didn't stop.
Right.
And that's what he was there for. Now, of course, they didn't find him in time, so they didn't prevent it. Obviously, it was the people in the house, but that was kind of another aspect of it.
Right.
Simply canceled the stopover. We couldn't take a chance on the president's safety once it was proven the assassins were in town.
Oh, okay, so we waited until proof that the assassins were there. That's interesting. I would assume like if there was any like potential, they would just like no, we'll just skip there and do it.
Then there would be another 45 minutes of the movie.
Well, there is that, yes. But no, I mean, that kind of brings it back to then the booby trap idea, right? Where it's like they're kind of the train. Obviously, we're 3 hours earlier, we're just gonna say don't stop because we know that there's potentially some people here that are gonna try to kill you. Yeah, we just kind of get it done that way, right?
But
So
like I say though, then we'd have to roll credits a lot sooner than what they're going to.
Well, they could still have like the whole movie, I think.
And Judd would still be dead. Poor old Judd. His only crime is to come and fix the television.
Yeah. And he did a marvelous job of setting up that
the booby trap.
Get him, Todd. I'll drive you home.
Wow, she is really.
She's like a
flirty now.
She's like a floozy now.
A vixen, right?
Boy, people grab her a lot though. Very.
You know what? For some reason, the hands in this picture, people's hands are really weird.
But there's the theme in this too. How many movies have you seen that there's the woman and the man? They're in this super dangerous situation. Speed. Just to name one.
It's about 60 miles.
And they end up falling in love with each other through all this adversity.
Now that's the name. That's a funny name for a town.
I wonder who that guy is. He almost seems like, is that like a director, like cameo or something, right?
We should look at that. Okay, is it? Is that Richard?
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. But it's the end, so we'll never know. All right. Well, and we've rolled the credits, and so a lot of layers there, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
A lot of layers. So I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts. So that's it for today. And so it's a very unique entry into the film noir.
Yeah.
You didn't have the shadows and the typical dread, but it was very much into the crime noir, right?
I felt like it was more like the facial, like his, like I said, there was that weird thing where he went from one persona to another persona.
Right.
From one
looked
scene
very
to the next.
menacing. He looked
absolutely.
Looked very,
and I think,
very menacing.
That's sometimes what it's like. Sometimes where it's like the shadowing and you just see the eyes, right? His eyes look cold. If you just saw his eyes, even just from that little like kind of rectangular view, it would be you feel some nervousness going on, right?
Yeah, and so and when he did that, were his eyes brown or blue? Because it was.
I felt like, so supposedly they say that they're brown, but I guess technically had blue eyes, and we were watching the colored version. I don't know. I think it eventually was like, it looked like Hazel maybe.
Yeah, old Hazel eyes.
I think it kind of looked like it was flipping back and forth, but there were some weird things, like I was saying, the hands look weird, like the shading or something. And once again, they're like adding color to the picture later on.
Yeah.
So it's, it's not something where, they're using colored film to film this.
I've seen it both ways. I like the black and white version better, just because if it's a crime film noir, then I want to see black and white. Yeah. This Ted Turner version of it. Because let's face it, color has been an option for a very, very, and films were an option for a very, very long time. Obviously, it was a little more expensive, but you had Technicolor and all that. But this isn't holding, didn't really hold up that well. There was some green. People looked a little green in places, a little pink in places.
Well, even like her makeup and that, things were like.
Her rouge didn't even come through at all.
Well, no, I agree. I did enjoy the black and white version more. I think honestly, it was almost more distracting with the color because, like I said, it was like their hands were looking all like weird shades. Like, are they wearing gloves? Like, what's going on?
Right.
And it was like distracting you from the actual film itself.
So as any good film noir, it is a lot to unpack. So, and I think we definitely want to hear what other people's thoughts are on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Love to hear from anybody. See, did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you like this film genre? Why not? Why do you? Why don't you? And just what did you see that we didn't see? Because there is a lot of foreshadowing. Said it a couple of times. There is layering over other things. So let us know. I think we've had our time for today.
I think overall, like, we enjoyed the movie more than we thought we were gonna do, right?
And it had some comical moments that I don't think it was meant to have. And during in future episodes, we're going to be watching some purposely comical movies.
Yes.
And I will always harken back to, I don't think you like me very much, do you?
Right.
So on the note of the top 10, what are the top 10 most stupid questions you've ever heard? We've got one. Give us the 9 others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it for us?
I think so. I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and definitely join us for our future classic crime film and perfect wine pairings. So definitely be sure to check us out on our previous episodes on the Booby Trap podcast. You can ask Siri, Alexa, or Google for quick access. We're found on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. And then obviously please follow us, interact with us on Instagram, X, which is formerly Twitter, and Facebook platforms. So until next time,
cheers!
Cheers!